so she said that the planes were flying overhead and they were throwing out a lot of little bombs. So we're going to go and see what's left behind. We had been trying to get into the Gori district for a number of days. The Russians had erected numerous checkpoints, and it was very difficult even to get into the city of Gori, let alone into the area between Gori and Skinvali, which was the Russian-occupied zone. We had basically banged our heads against a number of Russian checkpoints over a series of days and finally found this road over the mountain. It was more like a goat trail over the mountains. The village that we're seeing here is a farm area. All of these people are farmers. And when we got there, we were speaking to some civilians there, and they said that there were bombs in their farms. And they described to us what sounded like cluster bombs. And so we decided we would go out and investigate.
That's where the chickens are. That's great.
Oh,
man.
fucking chickens are oh, yeah. It's a DPICM.
Yeah.
DPICM. Oh, my God. It looks like an M85. Wow. Okay, listen. If the chickens touch that, that is going to explode, all right? She's armed. She's got the trigger out. She's armed. Cluster munitions are large containers dropped by either airplanes or launched by rockets that have many dozens to hundreds of smaller bombs inside. And when it opens up, it covers about a football field area. And then when they come down, they're all supposed to explode and destroy their targets. The problem is, though, they're manufactured very poorly, and more often than not, you have up to a quarter of them not exploding, and that then creates a de facto minefield.
He's saying, don't you want to see the entire field is full of it, just behind the house?
All right, I tell you what, I'll go with him. Everybody please walk away from the bomb. All right? I don't want him to touch anything.
There's several lines. This way, and it's full in the line.
Right, okay. Being there at the point that we were, getting in where no one else was getting access to, we were able to provide the filter through all of the propaganda so we could tell the story. The biggest impact that we had immediately was to really get the Georgian government to educate their civilian population. We took basically a day after we found these munitions and went to the Minister of Defense, to the Minister of the Interior, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, to the highest levels of the Georgian government. And really we pushed on them, we provided them with all the photos of cluster bombs that we had. And the next day, we started to see it. There were pamphlets being handed out. They started a television campaign. The thing about this conflict that really resonated with me was how it showed that these weapons have been stigmatized. And even though they were used in this conflict, the response by the international community was swift and it was harsh. But you even had the Russians claiming, no, of course we didn't use cluster bombs. Whereas in the past, I think they would have said, well, it's a legal weapon and we use it in a legal manner. Instead, they just denied. And it showed just how utterly scared they were to admit to using a weapon that has now been banned by 107 nations and hopefully more when we finally get signature.